What is energy? At its most basic level, we may think food. Because if you eat food, then you receive the power to then do something. But chakras can also be understood as energy. When I was on my mission, I learned that the more you overcomplicate something, the harder it is for somebody to understand. But when you bring it down to a simple level, then the person receives exactly what they need to receive. And I wanted to simplify chakras for you because, in its most simple term, chakras can be looked at as energy. Think about this. So, you eat your breakfast, you go to work, and as you're doing your job, you get to a point where your body then craves food. And it tells you, I'm hungry. I need to eat. If I don't eat, I won't survive. That is the root chakra, the most basic chakra. And when you eat, all of a sudden you satiate yourself and you receive the power to then continue on. But if we take it further than that and we think of, let's say, the heart chakra. I imagine my dad when we first came to this country and he had 3 jobs. And I'm sure he did not have time to just sit down and eat to replenish his energy. But instead, as he worked, he remembered the reason why he was working, why he did what he did. And that provided him with energy. That is the heart chakra working. It is love. It is sacrifice. It will give you the energy when you need it, whether you have food or you don't. That's where you see it. Like, whoa, this is crazy. How is this happening? But you can feel it. It's a connection that we've had, but we may have forgotten, or we don't even know that we have it. But until you realize this, then you can then use it. I also think of the throat chakra, something I'm very familiar with. All my life I've had this ability to speak, and I've seen it in other people as well. I had a year when I played football, and I remember being in halftime, right? And we would go back to the locker room, and most of the time we were losing at this point. And we would have people who would get up and talk, and they'd build us back up. We didn't work this hard. We didn't practice this much to get to this point, to have our family be here to support us, to lose. That wasn't the purpose. Let's get out there and let's hit it. Let's get it harder than we did before. And most of the time, our third and our fourth quarters were always better than our first and our second. And let me tell you, I was tired. I was tired during halftime. They didn't give us food, a break, none of that. No. They gave us a short amount of time, and then we went back out there. And those words were words that would give us energy. All of a sudden, we'd be hyped up, like, let's get this, let's go. We can do this. And you would build this morale just by hearing somebody speak. I was never gifted in the ability to sing really well. I did sing when I was younger and I loved it, but I could see other people who were a lot better at it and almost naturals, right? And I remember hearing them sing, and when you hear somebody sing, no matter what mood you're in, you can feel it, like an energy in you, and you feel positive. You feel happy and attracted to that voice. That is also the throat chakra working and providing you with energy. The third eye. The third eye is an interesting one because we're so used to seeing everything with our physical eyes, but there is more to it than just what you can see physically. You're limited to what you can see physically. But when you actually work your third eye, you can envision things that are not there, that have not happened yet. But it is by your vision, and when you create more clarity of that vision, it drives you. You know, this is why people ask me all the time, how can you wake up at 4:30 in the morning every single day? You know, what do you do when you're just not in the mood to do it? What do you do when life hits you and all of a sudden you're tested, right? Well, it's because I have this vision of somewhere that I want to be. And that vision alone is enough to push me, to drive me, right? To give me energy. And that's why I do what I do. I cannot see it any other way. I am pushed, I'm catapulted to do what I do. And as you become this thing that you want to be through your vision, then you have these realizations like, it was worth it. Like, this is what it means to succeed. This is what it means to get to where I want to be. And an even deeper one would be the crown chakra. The crown chakra is connected to your mind, but it is also a very spiritual chakra, because it is the way that you receive things, right? Nobody can convince you of anything, but you can have a realization. And when you have a realization, you're connecting in your mind these 2 points that you may have not seen before. And when you connect these two things, you realize, that's what they meant. This is the difference that I needed. This is what I was looking for. And because of that, you change. Now, you may have been sedentary to do something, but because of this epiphany that you got, this realization from the crown, you now have energy to do things. And so, looking back at the very basic form of energy being food survival, now you may see that energy is more than food, no matter where you get it from. And it can really push you to do something more. Finding a balance with all these things is what's important, because you begin to realize what you are and what you have within you. And you live in the present. You appreciate as these things are happening, that they're real and they're affecting you. And you aren't so lost anymore. You're complete. You've always been complete. You've always had what you needed to have. Everything that you're going to go through in this life, you're ready for it. You're prepared. But it is that realization that you're supposed to have that takes time. And everything on top of this that comes afterwards is just that much better. I feel so spiritual now that every single day is a spiritual day for me. It isn't one day a week. Every single day I have these moments where I can appreciate what I'm going through, and I can appreciate even the hard times. Lately, I've been putting myself into difficult and uncomfortable situations because it forces me to connect myself. When I do cold showers, and this is very normal for me, going to the gym, but when you push yourself to a point, a limit that asks for more, you become more connected. And it's not just that you're going through motions. No, you're actually living it, and you're creating a better version of yourself. And so it's crazy how I have so much energy now at this point in my life where I know I'm still young. I'm only 26, but as people age, they get worse and worse. And they have this notion that it's supposed to be that way, but it's not. It's only because a person has accepted that they are going to get worse and worse. But if you don't accept it and you take control, you realize that you have had this power this whole time. What you've been looking for outside of yourself is within yourself. And it brings life back into your life. Thank you for listening, guys.